Yeah, we are live. Yeah, yeah. And it's probably from my end. Wow, we have really grown in subs. Though. Damn, 242. What the hell? Damn, when did that happen? I wasn't paying attention to the sub, man. Now, you sure you don't want to take up streaming as a personal side gig stuff? Yeah, true, true. I understand. Even me myself, I would have taken it. Well, it's all good, you know. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? See this guy. Legacy just go one person in and said, invite your members. Bro, that's your job, man. That's your job, man. No one from L follow. Alright guys, what's up? How's everyone doing? Good evening and welcome to the semi-finals. And this is gonna be a match for sure that is bound to be interesting because we've got El Cartel, the ultimate and unbeaten team so far in the entire Seasonal Showdown against Ras'Alghuls, ones that have climbed up to this point and definitely are not going to let El Cartel's reputation get to them or intimidate them. But yeah, I have to welcome you guys to the stream. And don't forget, we've got someone in the back there making all what you see possible. And that's Stark. Shout out to him. We'll get back into the game and welcome as well. I can see some people, chatting in the comments there and the polls there in favor of El Cartels. Well, it's to be expected, right? El Cartels are currently the leading champs. But then Ras'Alghuls, the draft has started here, and I can see the bans. The bans are actually pretty decent if you think about it. Alice was revamped today, so that was a seasonal ending and a new season beginning. So you don't want that meta adjustment playing against you, and that's Ras'Alghuls taking down the Alice, and also El Cartel's taking down the Tammuz. If you don't know, Tammuz also was adjusted a bit. And yeah, there were a lot of adjustments made, but CC will be taken down for El Cartels, and that marks the end of the first ban phase. And I can see the comments, MJ saying, hello. Yeah, hello, MJ. What's up? Shout out to MJ, one member of the organizing team. And that's Nicholas with the first pick for Ras'Alghuls. Man, you've got a lot of options here. You've got a Gato. The juicing is available for Ras'Alghuls. They could go for that. They could pretty much give El Cartels a tough time with that pick. And another Zetian is available too. You can also go for that. But then, a Gato, a Hylos perhaps. But St. Nicholas, the man's taking his time here to really think this through. What will he go for? And once that's one thing about going, being the first pick here. When you have the first pick, you have a lot of options. But no, Yokai locks down the... Okay, Lilia. That's actually... I think that should be the first Lilia pick. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But that should be the first Lilia pick in the entire Seasonal Showdown. I don't think we've seen a Lilia pick ever since. But yeah, that's gone with the faster pick. It's a mage for a mage, and El Cartels are not too hasty here. You can see Conquest really taking his time there on that pick. And the faster is a very good pick there, the range and burst damage. But then Conquest, he really has to think this one through. He's got the Lilia to deal with. The black shoes definitely is gonna give them a problem, especially when it comes to Super Saiyan leaving behind the Uranus and going for the Alot. That's actually a very nice pick. Alot has good range, good damage, good CC, and kind of a balance of damage and CC really. But then Ragnar and St. Nicholas for Ras'Alghuls will make the next two picks for Ras'Alghuls. And you have to really wonder that what do they have in store for us for the first match. The first match is usually the game where both teams are trying to really weigh each other and how much power they have or advantage they have against each other. So, both teams are not gonna be so hasty to show their true cards or to reveal their trick up their sleeves. But then Ragnar here with a Grok, wow, that's going for the Grok and showing a roam so early. That's not something you'd expect from Ras'Alghuls, but then they will go for the Grok pick, and that's an early pick for the roam for Ras'Alghuls. Not something you'd expect, not something you'd also want to do. But then Cheezy going for the jungler here. I like that response actually. You show your roamer early, I'll show my jungler early, and those are two main roles you don't want to show early, especially in the draft phase. But Cheezy already going for that Frederick, the appraiser from Los Pecados, and taking down the Lancelot. That's Conquest doing that. And Vector here with the next pick for Ras'Alghuls. And you really have other options. The Juicing is still available, but then you can't go for that anymore. You already have a mage, but you can also go for a gold laner. You can go for an Irithel. Irithel isn't banned. Neither is she picked by anyone so far. So you can go for an Irithel for the gold lane. You can go for a Broody for the gold lane. That can be pretty good. You could also go for a 1-1 is bad, so you can't go for that. So you can go for something else. But Ras'Alghuls still have the element of surprise here. They haven't locked down their jungler yet. I don't know if they're trying to weigh the options and weigh what's available, but no jungler for them. So yeah, they're just waiting it out at this point. Voidhaka thinking it through what to ban. I think he should ban the Irithel. He should ban the Irithel because Irithel can be quite problematic. Irithel is definitely going to be problematic, especially for Cheezy, since Irithel is pretty mobile and difficult to catch. But then Voidhaka has got 3 seconds on that timer, takes down the Broody. Okay, that's a very valid takedown. Someone that can be very problematic, especially with his range. And the retail is taken down by Ras'Alghuls. And that concludes the draft, the ban phase for the draft pick. And Conquest on the Calais. My goodness, El Cartels are really styling and going all out with the picks in the early games. But then the man isn't so sure about this pick. I think he should go for it, because I'm pretty sure that if they don't go for the Calais, Ras'Alghuls is going to go for it. I'm pretty sure they will. But then Ras'Alghuls already have a EXP laner and a roamer. So I don't think they can go for a Calais even if they wanted to, unless that would pretty much complicate their comp. But Vector and Nicholas would have to go for the last 2 picks. And Ras'Alghuls have no choice but to show their jungler now. You have to go for someone. Hayabusa is available. Hayabusa is a very good pick, man. You could start going for that. That could really give Gon a problems. You know, you could also go for Hanzo. Hanzo is also good, but then Hanzo with this CC lineup, I don't think it would go for Hanzo, man. I think a Hayabusa would do better. A Link would also try. A Link would be a good one. You could go for an Akai jungle too. An Akai jungle would be good. It could really help against Fredrin's pain, because once Fredrin uses the Brave Assault and the energy eruption on you, you'll be pretty much stick. But they're trying to go for a Baxia. I can't understand. The Baxia mark counters a sort of life passive on the Calais. But, you know, do you really want to pick one hero for one person? Wow, Vector going for the Mattis, 3,000 worlds, and not a single foe. And I do agree. I mean, you do have 3 seconds control immunity on, you know, the mortar coil. So you kind of consider that. But then, you know, you also have to consider the fact that Mattis isn't exactly performing in the meta right now. But then, hey, I'm pretty sure they have their reasons for going for that. And that's Conquest and Voidhaka. The man's considering his options on the gold lane here. He's got other options. He might go for something else, but no, the Spear of Quiescence is looking very enticing to him. He's stuck, wondering, should he go for it or should he not? Perhaps waiting for input from his teammates. And that's the Rising Star. That's Carry. Voidhaka might go for Carry. Might probably be considering Melt here, because Carry's Speedy Light Wheels definitely can melt Phobios and the Grok. But no, Nathan is the one he goes for. And the scientist from Eruditio and the time traveler himself is locked down. That is the first pick for Nathan we are seeing in the entire Seasonal Showdown. El Cartels are still making records in ML Hub, and that will conclude the draft, guys. What do you think about the draft? Do you think El Cartels has the better draft, or do you think Ras'Alghuls have the better drafts? And at this point, I'm just going to engage you guys. And if there's no comments to engage, well, we just have to wait till the game starts, right? Okay, so let's see the comments now. All right, so someone says here that now no fraud father to hate on. Yes, there is no all father here. So MJ says Mattis. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised, MJ. I'm surprised myself. You don't get to see a Mattis speak all the time, but I'm pretty sure Vector already knew that, and he has something in common. So you have to be careful though, because when he's ganking Voidhaka has the entropy, so you have to be very careful there. And the interference as well. That CC from interference can be really problematic. Also, you know, it's got mobility on the theory of everything, so you need to be very careful of that. So you just make sure that it doesn't get away so quickly. But then that will mark the start of the game, and we will get straight into it, guys. The semi-finals, El Cartels versus Ras'Alghuls. This is now Showdown, and this is the tripart race. Let's get straight into it. Game 1, let's do this. Okay, so early games. Yeah, by the way, Stark, if we can get a zoom out on the map for me to cast the team fight better, that would be really nice. Thank you. And yeah, on the mid lane here, Yokai starting out the wave clear. That's the early game. That's what the dark wave can do. If you're the Lilia, you can pretty much you know, the magic wave, rather, you can pretty much just clear the minion waves quickly. That's a benefit of using Lilia. But then up top, Voidhaka here, and that's interference, doing what he can. Superposition, no, he will clear the lanes here, going for the gold crab instead. Not okay. Interference will miss, and superposition as well. And St. Nicholas on the Vitrix here, really just using right now. Meanwhile on the mid lane there, Conquest, there's the Tidal Strike, pushing back, but no, flickers out, Conquest. And that's Spectre responding with the Mother Coil. Meanwhile, Surge of Life comes back in, Mother Coil puts him up, and that's more where that came from. And the pause from Legacy will stop that action in its tracks. And that's an on pause. I don't know if that was a mistake, guys,
But then we're back into it here, there, and that's the wall. Preventing the mobility there. Gone. Falls to the cost of Crow. And that is Conquest pulling back since they've secured the kill. And Vector is now down and lost the orange buff. And really, the purple buff is still available for him though, and he will go for it. Meanwhile, up top, there's a rotation from Ragnar onto the gold lane there. Voidhaka is there, but then that's the pullback there. Bennett, up HP now, interference, pulling back. And Voidhaka knows how to make sure that he gives enough distance. Meanwhile, Cheezy, okay, Conquest might be waiting for this one with the title strike, but that's it. Okay, tactical reposition there. So interference, title strike comes in, but that's the touch of life. Going to put it there, but no, just to heal him up and not to commit. Conquest doesn't want to risk it on that lane. And meanwhile, down bottom, you can see Vector rotating to that turtle there. Cost of Crow from Gun, and the magic wave as well from Yokai. They're just clearing the lanes here. Both mages are not wanting to engage, but that's the final slash unlocked by Super Saiyan as he hit level 4. Title strike from Conquest onto Ragnar, but nothing too serious there. And that's the total. Conquest, the contest has started here, and the penalty shoot starting. That's 2-man. Nashura's and that will back the kill there. Reborn finds one. Reborn goes down. Gon finds the kill, and that is the pullback. Vector not able to find anyone with the Ashura's teeth, but Cheezy is not done. He wants to still contest, but that's a 3-on-1. Okay, brave assault, but that's the pushback. Energy eruption to bring him back, but Cheezy are no bad support from Gon. Cost of Crow, Cheezy steals it under the noses. That's brave assault, but the black shoe saves Yokai from that CC pin down from Cheezy, and they will get away. Meanwhile, on mid lane, okay, Cheezy, Conquest rather, with the title strike, gets in. But then, just nothing serious here. The Surge of Life, just to clear the minion waves and supporting Gon to recall because he's low on mana. And Conquest will move up top to support his gold laner, Voidhaka. I don't know why Voidhaka is stable. Is static. She really should get moving. But then Conquest waiting it out at this point. The wall does not detect Conquest inside that bush. So that's an element of surprise advantage he has there. And Voidhaka. Okay, Ragnar here. Okay, coming in to support here, just making sure that the marksman is not so vulnerable to ganks. And that's, if you're a Roma, that's exactly what you should do. Meanwhile, Conquest getting aggressive. But no, that's just harmless poke, nothing too serious there. Then magic wave, that's the poke. That's the thing about the Lilia. That's the thing about Yokai. He can do that as much as he wants, but Cheezy might just engage here. But no, it's rotating down bottom there. Princess Wrath onto the EXP crab. But then, was that a wasted ultimate, or was that just an ultimate to farm as fast as possible? Meanwhile, up top, say Nicholas clearing the waves there, tactical repositioning to get away before the numbers come against him. Entropy to clear the lanes there by Voidhaka, and that's him taking out the lanes there, taking advantage of that theory of everything. But now, okay, title strike from Conquest, but not finding anyone there, and the magic wave will kill him a little though. Vector just waiting in the bushes. The man's giving an element of surprise to himself here. The magic wave to clear the minion waves. And Vector, that's the thing about this lineup, man. You don't have enough surprises, unlike Conquest, but that's the pullback there. Conquest not able to use the title strike due to that CC immunity, but that's Conquest there. Okay, final for shoots. They will start the aggression there. But strike there, and that's the slam. Brings him in. That's the wall slam there from the block. And rebound falls with Hunter. Return everything. No, in the middle of it all. Trying to get one, but not able to set. Nicholas falls and Vector falls as well. It's a 4-for-none trade in favor of El Cartel as they style and gets an uncontested total in this team fight. Meanwhile, on the mid lane here, Gon trying to find an easy tier 1, but that's Conquest dive there with the title strike onto the purple buff. But Conquest here, Ragnar trying to salvage what's left of the jungle, a bit too late there. Meanwhile, St. Nicholas with the Bennett, he's trying to defend, and Ragnar is coming in to support him, but it's a 4-on-2 gear on the gold lane. But no, El Cartels, they know that that's not worth it. It's not worth it to really just pressure here on that lane, because, you know, you can really give a save, you can even give an advantage to Nicholas. But then that Purify is still on that cooldown. That's Conquest there. Might just engage, but Reborn is making it difficult. Shadow Strike pulling him in. That's Shadow Strike again. And Slam rather to pull him in. And they're trying to get away, but no, the Faraday Strike from Gon takes him out. My goodness. That was a very nice support there. And that's Vector, not able to find anyone still with the Ashura stick. And that's the wall. Perfect just used the wall slam. But no, Ragnar, he doesn't want to engage. He doesn't want to commit. And that is something I should question. But no, I will not. I just want to see how that plays out in the future. But Conquest here. The Grok. Okay, Tsunami Slam onto him. That's Conquest. That might pay off, that might not. But Tsunami Slam defensively to get away Conquest. He doesn't want to make any unnecessary risk, really. But Reborn coming in to defend the tier 1 on the X-Blade. That's Cheezy there. Goes in. The defender pursues. The man's in the total there. Turret might have the advantage, but no, he does not. A Princess Rat comes in, and that's Tsunami Slam. Reborn falls. El Cartel, the numbers advantage will be enough to take him out, even inside the turret. And that's Vector there with the Magic Wave. Cheezy, defensive one. Brave Assault. That's Conquest there. Title Strike defensively to get away as well. And El Cartels know how to cut their losses and really just get away to avoid unnecessary risks. They wanted to push that tier 2 there, but they couldn't. And that must not cost them a life just to achieve that. But that's Conquest trying to invade on the jungle here. Super Saiyan to support him. And the total is being taken. That's a split of objectives there. And Conquest, Cheezy, okay. Diving in with the Brave Assault, 2 managing the rush on with the Princess One. And that's Voidhaka taking the total there. Then let's get from the back end. But that's the final slash. Wow. What was that final slash? Super Saiyan. I've never seen a final slash like that. You final slash Ragnar into his turret. That was a pretty counterproductive move. Okay, I think right now, Super Saiyan definitely need to work on that. But that's Super Voidhaka there with entropy. But has to withdraw now. Has to pull back. They cannot take that tier 1. Not when Reborn and Ragnar is defending it. It's going to be pretty difficult. But that's Voidhaka recognizing that and taking out the waves instead. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so in the mid lane here, Reborn really just defending that tier 1 by all means. You really have to, he's just trying his best to defend it, man. That's Ras'Alghuls holding on to what's available and what's left of their turrets. That's mid lane with Aka. Cartel are still pushing for it. Yokai, he has a black shoes available. Conquest and dive in, but not giving him any chance. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm having fever this evening, sir. Slammy Slam to bring Reborn back. My goodness, but that Prince comes in. Conquest engages as well, but that's the pull up. Oh my goodness, I'm having fever, man. Princess Wrath, but then St. Nicholas, low on HP here. They have to pull back now. El Cartels are pressuring entropy for Voidhaka. If it's too late, though, Dexter will fall. Ragnar falls. Wow, that's a back end pick up from El Cartels. Oh my goodness. Ah, come on. I beg. Ah. Die. A lot. But then down bottom there, Conquest flickers out just in time. That was a close one. But Voidhaka taking out the top turrets there on the bottom, on the top lane rather. Ah, come on, you lot. All right, so Ragnar rotating, but then you cannot take the total at lot at this point because you have 2 members down on your team, Ras'Alghuls. Right now, I think what they should do. They should just, clear the waves and give themselves wave advantage because, because that's not actually Conquest dives in. Conquest doing this. Another slam brings you back, but that's Vector picked up by El Cartel. And no, it's not done. Voidhaka with the entropy pulls back, dodges the Bennett's raid. Voidhaka with the reaction time. You've got to give props to this Nathan, man. He knows what he's doing, and that's an invade by Voidhaka and Cheezy. But no, Ragnar, the wall comes in late. You will not be able to salvage that purple buff. And the Lord will approach from the top lane. Yeah, it's something really. But then, Ragnar is just waiting it out. Conquest might walk into this one here. Walks into it. Yeah, that's it. But then Ragnar is so interested in engaging. The Lord is approaching here. El Cartel needs to be very careful. There's status right. Tsunami Slam brings it back. And that's Reborn falling victim again to the Benedict side. But that's more where that came from. Cheezy with the Brave Assault dives in there. Mr. Strike comes in as well. Tsunami Slam goes in more. Ashrat flickers out. Ragnar. You can let him go. Conquest. Conquest finally falls. The man has been a menace on this Calais. But the Lord will approach from the top lane, and Ras'Alghuls have to defend against this Lord.
Been destroyed.
Now, okay, it's Voidhaka. Wow, get shot down. Okay, pick up. Yeah, that's a very brilliant pickup. Gone up top. Another strike there to try to zone them out from defending against this Lord. But then Ragnar comes in. They want to slow it down. That's the Nicholas with the Bennett. But then Ras'Alghuls a successful defense from their end to repel the Lord. But this is just the early game Lord. He's pretty weakened. This is actually a weakened Lord. If you think about it, it's weakened. It's not exactly something that would really, pressure them a lot. But then the subsequent Lords will be stronger. And I'm pretty sure Ras'Alghuls know that. But then Conquest getting pushed out there, might be looking for a target. The man is starting to overextend a little bit. But that's one thing when you have the Cartel, you have such advantage to yourself. And up top, we can see Voidhaka. I don't exactly know what his play is here, but then it looks like his play is to farm more. A Super Saiyan just waiting for the right time. Slam brings it back, and Ragnar with that full backfire. Thunderslash comes in. Super Saiyan forced to destination. Vector picks him up, and that backfired real quick on El Cartel. I really think they should be very considerate of how they engage from now on, especially when that Lord has 30 seconds to respond. You have to be very careful. The fact that you're the best doesn't mean you can't make mistakes. And El Cartel really needs to keep that in mind. But Voidhaka coming into support, they didn't have him the last time they started a fight, but maybe they will have him now. Maybe teams will be different. And that's the Lord. 15 seconds, and El Cartel's right now. Conquest is doing the zoning out, and Voidhaka just waiting for this Lord to spawn so that they can melt it down. And that's Super Saiyan recalling back to base and coming back with the full HP so that he can properly do his job as an EXP laner. Well, then the Lord has respawned, and that's Entropy on Voidhaka, using it now and just melting the Lord, and the Lord is melted down. Of course, that's Nathan. I mean, Nathan pretty much has melt, one of the best melts in this entire game, But then arguably, before you guys come for me in the comments, okay, yeah, Conquest. The man is still overextending, a bit overconfident here, but that's Conquest doing his thing. They might pick him up, or he might be baiting them out. But the Bennetts, it looks like El Cartels are having a play or something, but the Lord is coming from the mid lane here. And that's the title strike, jumps in to clear the minion waves. Conquest has to wait for that cooldown now. And that's the Entropy comes in, initiating there. But that's coin. But that's not an attack. That is a disengage. But meanwhile, up top, there's a strike energy rush and dead to touch them up. Another strike in the back, and that's Reform going down. Lord approaching there. Another strike approaching too. And the turret is almost down. The Lord is not taken down, but El Cartel, they've taken the win by all means. And they've won game one. And Ras'Alghuls definitely have more to reckon, as they will lose this one. And really, you have to, props to Ragnar, because he actually did a good job on the Grok. And Nigerian #2 Grok, which is to be expected, right? But then that was a pretty interesting match. Now it's over to you guys in the comments. What do you think about game one? Do you think there was a chance that Ras'Alghuls could have taken it? Or do you think there was El Cartel just had the advantage? Yeah, I'll watch out for the comments, guys. All right, so someone says Ragnar they wait for Rapture. What the hell? Oh my god, is it Ragnar the wait for Rapture? But for real though, if you think about it, Ragnar didn't exactly use the wall slam like a lot of times. To be honest, he didn't actually use the wall charge, brother. He didn't actually use it. Let me just be honest with you. There were times when he had good decks and he could have that engagement, could have given his team a very good advantage. Like St. Nicholas was literally crying for a good initiation. But that's the thing about the Grok. Like, if you're not exactly like, Grok is kind of like set dependent, like Kufra. That's kind of why I don't actually play. I'm a roamer myself, but I don't actually play text-dependent tanks like Kufra, Grok. There's some tanks that are set dependent. And what I mean by that is that if your enemies are close to the wall, it gives you more of an advantage. Akka is a good example. Kufra is an example. This guy is an example too. So yeah, I don't really like it. Yeah. Okay, someone says El Cartel teamwork will be here. What do you expect, guy? Like, I mean, El Cartel is literally undefeated. El Cartel has never lost a single game and not a single fixture. They've never lost to. Of course, they are half. You can't do that kind of thing without having good teamwork, man. Okay, someone says really stampeding into Ras'Alghuls. I mean, to be fair, they did defend against the First Lord siege. So to be fair, Ras'Alghuls tried, but unfortunately El Cartel just had the overwhelming force in that one. Okay, someone says their rotation is fast and they're thinking match. Yeah, of course, man. I mean, Ras'Alghuls needed to keep up with El Cartel in that game. It was obvious. I know, to be fair, Ras'Alghuls didn't actually take a single objective in that game. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then they had this guy. Yes, of course, Reborn really, went through a lot in that game. I agree with you there, Dada. Reborn went through a lot in that game because you are the Phobios, and Phobios uses the Infernal Pursuit, and you can tell that Conquest made sure that he stayed in the front, and anytime Reborn tries to engage, Tsunami Slam into and brings him into the back line, and then every other thing starts and they melt him down. Before you know it, Feather Strike is hitting you, this guy is melting you down, and you're just dead. So yeah, Reborn really went through a lot in that game. And someone says, make Vector sell Sky, I beg. Okay, another person says, okay, I think that's all. Someone says take signing feed for the code. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, okay, today one was actually different, because Rain met me on that, I was on the road and Rain actually fell on me. So yeah, that's actually why this is happening. Okay, so someone says the part that got me screaming was when Nathan took Turtle. Yeah, that was actually crazy. I'm not going to lie, that was insane. To be fair, Voidhaka actually played well on the Nathan, because even that last minute invade, that last minute siege, when the Lord walked into the base, I like the fact that Voidhaka didn't wait for Conquest to engage. You would normally, in a normal setting, you would wait for your room to engage, before you enter as the marksman. But Voidhaka did not do that. Voidhaka entered as the marksman first, and then Conquest engage. You see, this is one of the things that make El Cartels, so different, because they take the norm and they flip it over. They take convection and they do the reverse. That's what makes them different. And so far so good, it's working for them. So I can't exactly fault that, man. I really can't. And yeah, they're the IESF representative. So of course there's high expectations where they are. I mean, the poll is saying it all right now. In the charts, there's a lot of votes and it's saying 72% for them. So I mean, it's clear where people's minds are, but then we're in the game too, guys. So yeah, I think I'll stop engaging you guys now. All right, Conquest, you have a chance here. You can go for something different this time around. But El Cartel won game 1, but that's the Gato ban from Conquest, a very valid ban. Gato can be very problematic, especially onto the back line. But then that's the Alot being taken down, and Voidhaka, you have to, man, credits to him, man. I mean, the guy really did win the last game, but yeah, this is game 2, so I need to stop dwelling on that. And I don't want to make it look like I'm glazing El Cartel at this point. But yeah, Ragnar really has to make sure that he bans something that was problematic to him, and something that was problematic to him was the Calais. And I don't know why he's actually not banning the Calais now, because the Calais would have actually been, it is actually very problematic. But then gone, you have other options here. You could go for something better. You could go for a Jusin. I mean, why are they not picking a Jusin? I'm still asking myself, because Jusin is available. Why are you not locking down the Jusin? Jusin is very problematic, no matter what lineup you're using. Jusin is very problematic. But then that's Reborn. Reborn might ban the Calais, because the Calais was actually his bane in that game. So yeah, Reborn will probably ban the Calais. But then Reborn, let's see what he goes for, man. You don't make the same mistake. That's the Alice ban. Damn, she was revamped, and the revamp looks so good, by the way. By the way, chat, what do you guys think about the revamp on Alice? I mean, I'm actually just seeing it myself. I've not actually logged in for a while. So yeah, Conquest here on the Calais. He might just want more. They didn't ban the Calais. Chat, they didn't ban the Calais. Are you serious? Ras'Alghuls did not ban Calais. Now, wow. But yeah, Nicholas here might just go for that Calais instead. Ragnar might pick the Calais. I mean, if the Calais is not banned, then pick it. It could work for your team. But then, no, Yokai leaving behind the Lilia and going for the Sicilian, I completely support that. But, I mean, Lilia is good. I'm not going to lie. Lilia is a good pick. But the thing about Lilia is that she does continuous damage. And Sicilian does burst damage. And in the long run, Sicilian is going to prove to be more favorable than Lilia. You know, so yeah, just saying, okay? Just saying. Plus, let's not even talk about the control on Sicilian. But then Cheezy, he has to wait this out. At this point, you know, St. Nicholas might be ditching that one there and going for leaving the Beatrix and going for the Moskov is actually very valid. I'm not going to even, you know, the Beatrix is good, don't get me wrong, but Moskov, yeah, when it comes to like, you know, the sort of Spear of Destruction and, you know, the Spear of Misery, attack speeds and damage, no, Moskov is crazy, man. Moskov is insane. Beatrix is good too. I'm not disputing that. But then Voidhaka, he has other options there. That's my signature pick. The Lapu-Lapu, the chief of the Doricans, the leader of the Doricans, and that's Kimi there from Eruditio. She will go down, and for Gon as well, take it. Excuse me. All right, so Reborn here. He has option. The Calais is still not picked though. I don't know. Is El Cartel actually flaunting this? Are they actually flaunting? Are they actually flaunting things? I don't know, man. They could go for a Calais. They could go for a Calais. Reborn, don't be shy. Don't be shy. I know you want to go for that Calais, but it goes for the edits. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on here, but so far they've got meta picks available, right? And they're not going for the meta picks. And you had the pick that gave you an heart take in the last game. And you're not going for that. So I'm really curious as to like, you know, what they're going to actually do, because if El Cartel later end up picking Calais, it will actually be problematic for Yokai. But then he has the Purify. But St. Nicholas, you know, what about that and stuff? But then Vector here has the next ban. Might just consider banning something. Maybe that Nathan. Maybe Voidhaka was pretty decent with that Nathan. Maybe something else. Maybe consider banning the Juicing. But no, I think they already have a mage. Gon might play the mage and finally banning the Calais. Finally. And that's actually probably one of the best bans right now. But that's the CC being taken down from El Cartels. And Ragnar has to take down someone now. Perhaps a Camilla. A Camilla might be problematic. Conquest might use the Camilla now that the Calais is banned. Conquest might go for the Camilla. But Ragnar, you are the Roma here. So you know the kind of roam that will be problematic to you. So you want to take down someone that will be very problematic here. But that's Ragnar here. 5 seconds on the timer. And the man is really thinking this through, because this is the last ban they get. If they don't make this work, then really, this is game over, guys. Because El Cartel's already won game 1. So if Ras'Alghuls don't take this game and move to a game 3, this is going to be GG's, man. This is GG's on to the finals, guys. But then that's Ragnar there. 3 seconds on the timer and bans the glue. Okay. I don't have any dispute against that ban. The ban is okay. Glue is very problematic, and that's Uranus. No time wasting there. And that's Voidhaka banning Uranus. I like that ban. Uranus is very problematic. You don't want him on your team. So you don't want him against your team, rather. But Vector has to go for an hero now. They don't have a Roma yet. So Ragnar might be considering that Grok. The fact that El Cartel didn't ban the Grok, it means that they didn't exactly, like, you know, see the Grok as that much of a problem. But then that's Vector there. Wait till the next pick. You have to consider this pick, man. Consider a lot of things. They have a Lapu. They've got a Yuson Shin. So you need to make sure that the person you're going for is someone that can escape these guys. Irita is already banned, so you're not, you know, they don't actually need a marksman, rather. And Vector has to go for someone that can, you know, go for them, you know, deal with these guys. Okay, a Leo mod. Okay. Let's see how that works. But then that's Conquest. Oh my goodness.
Reading through Time's threads.
Oh my goodness. The maiden from Laboratory 1412. Angela. I don't know if you guys have read the recent patch notes, but they actually adjusted this girl's ultimate. And now our ultimate has an insanely short cooldown. So this is like a cheat code, you know, for El Cartels right now. And I'm pretty sure they want to maximize that right now. But then let's see how well they use it. And that's Ragnar with the last pick there. Might go for that Grok again. But Ragnar, okay, with the Diggy. Okay. I like this. That's flipping convention. But then I think they might need a tank here, though. Because if they don't go for a tank, Edit is gonna be forced to be the frontliner. It's gonna be forced to be the frontliner. Edit and Vector is gonna be forced to be. I think they should go for like a support. If they want to go for a support, you have to go for someone that can, you know, really make sure he supports the Leo mod. Usually Angela would be a best support for Leo mod, but then Angela is already picked. But a Belric is also good. A Belric is also good in this situation if you want to go for that, because a Belric is pretty much a problem for Cheezy if he wants to engage. But yeah, they will go for a Belric Ragnar. That concludes the draft, guys. That is it. That took quite a while, but then we're done, and we will get straight into game 2. And I'm gonna be engaging the comments while the game loads. Okay, someone says that's just the K. He says Diggy is fine or Florine. I agree because they don't really have a tanky lineup in El Cartel side. You know, when your enemies don't have a tanky lineup, you can kind of afford to not go for a tank if you know what you're doing, right? But when your enemy has good frontliners, you need it. Like, you need one. If you don't have a frontliner, it's gonna be problematic. Okay, another person said Belric can just easy lose. Well, I always say one thing, just the K. I always say it's not about the picks, it's about how you utilize them. Ras'Alghuls can utilize the Belric pick well, and can actually, even if they lose the game, they can actually like give El Cartels like a tough time. That's the thing. But then, hey, the balls are beginning to shift. Ras'Alghuls now, okay, 67-33, and El Cartel was on 70-something, but some people switched over to Ras'Alghuls' side, perhaps the draft. But then someone says Belric MVP. All right, guys, the game has started now, and I will stop engaging the comments so I can get straight to it.
5 seconds till the enemy.
This is my kata. This is my kata. Leave me now. Leave me now. But then, yeah, they will get straight into the game, and that's the spamming recall there from Super Saiyan. And just waiting for the buff to spawn so that they can start spamming blood floods onto the buff here. And meanwhile, up top, Ragnar helping out his jungler here, and that's the usual early game farm going on. Okay, someone says Anthony. He says El Cartel will draft. They give me joy. Well, they're the winning team right now. So gone here on. That's the thing about the Kimi, man. She just keeps poking you and peeling you, and Ragnar, I'm sure you're aware of this. You have to be very careful of that. Unless you just lose your HP, but Deadly Thorn started to do his job, and Belric might just be a perfect counter for this. But then that's the heal up, and you know, Conquest coming in there. Samurai Claws does not connect onto anyone, and they will clear the waves here. Meanwhile, I noticed that they are actually playing a Tammuz gold lane. Wow. El Cartels will really do anything at this point. My goodness. But then that's the engagement there. Up top, you can see Ragnar getting missed of it all, but Deadly Thorns traceless from Cheezy to disengage. They're not ready for an engagement there. That's one. Conquest flickering out. That was a dangerous positioning there, but that will not be anything lethal for him. They will get out just in time. Meanwhile, what's the mid lane here? Ragnar, the Deadly Thorns, but Conquest not wanting to recall just yet. I like his confidence, actually. I like his confidence. But then Reborn up top. Okay, on the EX lane here. Just waiting to reach that level 4 to release the Primal Wrath. But the Dotto has spawned, and that's where Ras'Alghuls want to be in. El Cartel's taking it slow at this point, but Cheezy's already on level 4 as well. But the Conquest will, the contest will start. Cheezy already starting out, Evelyn Fowl, the bow and the sword, the glaive rather. That's Traceless there with the engagement there. The ground filter does not connect onto anyone there. Now Primal Wrath from Reborn there. We'll find one there. Reborn fall into Traceless, and that's Regis Fast coming in. Vector finds Conquest. Cheezy goes down to Vector as well. The old keeper finds 2, and that will not be enough for them. They will still try to contest here. El Cartels, they don't know when to back down. They really don't know, man. But then St. Nicholas, okay, Voidhaka, that's the Tammuz gold lane. I'm still not, I'm still not used to that because, man, the Tammuz gold lane. Okay, up top on the total area, you can see Ragnar walking into this one Super Saiyan. Okay, Conrad here, 1v2. But the man doesn't look like he's engaging. Cheezy starting out the turtle again. Gone coming to support to Super Saiyan. Traceless onto the turtle. And Brave and Justice Blaze. But then melt him down. Okay, he might just release the Wrath of Dryad there for that connect only onto Super Saiyan. He tries to get away. Bravest fighter there. Raging Slash comes in as well. We're not connecting to anyone. Land Tinker onto 2. Distraction Force pulls him back. But that will not be enough to take out Reborn. Ragnar will be the only one to fall in that team fight. Meanwhile, down bottom and on the gold lane, wow, really pressuring here. The Asgard comes in, and that's the Abyss Walker from St. Nicholas to get into the safety of the turret. And wow, I mean, the fact that a Moskov is running away from a Tammuz on the gold lane is saying something, man. He's saying something. But then that support will come in. That's well deserved. Ragnar coming in, showing up for his marksman here. And that's the multi sky pushback. Ragnar, you have to be careful. If they pull you into the team fight area, it's not gonna be funny. And down bottom, Ragnar might just be waiting for the right moments to engage here. And they know that. They know that indeed. And that's all top on the mid lane here. Reborn, waiting for the right moment. It's okay. The ground splitter does not connect. The anti-gravity thrust from Gone to get away from the ground splitter. Meanwhile, Espacian there, bravest fighter, but the land shaker does not connect though. And the ancestral and the ancestral protector is not available as well. Gone, starting out on the purple buff here, assisting Cheezy, blood floods onto the purple buff as well. And Ragnar, okay, starting out in the mid lane here, Gone, clearing out the waves there. But that's it, Nicholas down bottom on the gold lane. 1v2 getting cornered here, and that's the Spear of Misery to push back Conquest. Demand doesn't want any immobilization because Voidhaka is going to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, dives in there, and that's more where that came from. Bad first, but he turns him on, brings him back in, but the guy is upon him, and he does not have anything to prepare. Ras'Alghuls does not connect, so, and that's the old keeper taking him down. Nicholas finds the kill, but his SOZ does not connect, though, and that's more Vector trying to find a kill there.
Killing spree.
Excuse me, guys.
Victory!
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guy. Call came in, Jerry. Am I still plugged in? The game has ended. Shit. I'm sorry, Jerry. There's still one more. Okay, nice. You can add me. I'm not in the lobby. Am I in the lobby? Okay, I'm trying to join the lobby now. Yeah, sorry about that. And my uncle called, and it was a pretty serious something. Alright, guys, sorry about that, guys. My uncle called, so yeah, it was pretty serious, and I couldn't afford to like put it away. So I didn't actually see what happened there. I'm so sorry leaving mid-game. It was not a call I could ignore, and I'm not the kind of person that put my phone on DND. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that's it. So yeah, we're in the lobby now, guys. You guys should tell me about what happened. Okay, you were there. I wasn't. So you guys should tell me what happened, and I'll be engaging the chats. The one I can see that are not derogatory comments. So, all right, let's see what we have here. Okay, one sec. Glue, you are starting to disturb me. Wait, let me spot this phone. One sec. All right. Okay. We're still in the lobby here, sir. Okay, so someone says Caster is MIA. Okay, that's that. And someone says damn, they want to say cow. How many times I call your name? Oh, what's up, by the way? How's it going, man? What's up? They say they want to say family land, understanding. Okay, someone says make legacy. Okay, Black Matter don't go AFK. No, I didn't actually go AFK, guys. I actually was on a call. Okay, but then someone says damn, Ras'Alghuls. Wait, how did Ras'Alghuls even take that game? And I mean, how did that happen, man? I thought El Cartel had that one in the bag, but then that happened, guys. and we're in the draft phase again, and
See
this
value
is
in
game
me?
3.
Team
It's
is
crazy,
Bullshit.
but it's happening, and this has probably got to be the first best of 3 we are seeing since the tri-party started. But that's the Fredrin takedown, trying to make sure that Cheezy doesn't get his hands on that appraiser again. And Ras'Alghuls, Voidhaka, it will really be a big surprise if they actually don't get to the Ras'Alghuls taking the second game. That was a pretty big thing. We couldn't have seen that coming. To be fair, Cartel. Okay, someone says, and that's Andy. He says, "You think Ras'Alghuls small?" No. Let's get something straight. I don't consider Ras'Alghuls small. When you are playing against a team that, ever since the beginning of the Seasonal Showdown, they've not lost a single game. 1, they've not lost a single fixture. 2, so you have that kind of streak, that kind of taint, no single taint on that streak. So what do you expect? Look at the poll here on the chat. Look at the poll on the announcement channel. What's everyone saying? So you'd expect that kind of thing, a straight win, right? But then, hey, Mobile Legends has a way of happening. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a 1-1 right now, not on the list. In case you're asking, it's 1-1. So yeah, that's the scoreboard right now. That's the Alice ban. Again, I mean, again, that's the Alice ban, man. It's crazy. But that's like the 3rd time they're banning Alice. And that's Ras'Alghuls. They keep banning the Alice. I understand, actually. You know, they revamp, the adjustment, and probably giving her an advantage. You know.
Your team is picking.
Yeah, really. It's really a worthy ban if you consider that one. But really, and they take down the Uranus and the Wraith. They almost said Nicholas getting the 1-1. Okay. Ras'Alghuls are not smiling. Oh my goodness. That is a meta pick, guys. We get to see a 1-1 play here. Ras'Alghuls, I like that. 1 meta good lane pick upcoming. And El Cartels, let's see how they respond to that. Voidhaka and Gone. Let's see how they respond, man. They still haven't, okay? They still ain't getting indecisive here. Be indecisive. A bit indecisive here. It's understandable. You have to really think this one through, actually, because Conquest.
My tail's been
I like
itching
that.
for a real fight.
That's one thing I like.
Thorns
I like the fact
remain.
that they actually went for the Cartel, because they know that, okay, we can't afford to actually lose this game. Cheezy going for that Lancelot. So that's Cheezy actually getting serious there, and them going for that Cartel on time. I know. I think this is El Cartel's trying to actually, like, you know, it's kind of the way by, you know, Gojo was like, Tsukoshi, Rambo, Shioka. But yeah, that's a JJK reference. Okay, someone says, not on the list says, I will ban Angela too, because the way I spam my author.
May the blood
Oh,
of my
guy.
enemies flow from my
Someone
spear.
says, if anybody go win Cartel in this tournament, it's these guys. Well, Andy, I really hope you will stick around till the end of the game to see how this turns out to be, because personally, I'm supposed to be neutral in this game, but man, the facts don't lie. These guys are actually, you know, unbeatable. And, you know, that story, Tori is saying that El Cartel's drop match here. You know, I mean, it's everywhere. Everyone knows the truth, man. Facts don't lie. In as much as you want to try your best to be, you know, you want to try your best to be, you know, neutral, you still have to be honest, man. You have to be honest here. El Cartel has not lost a single match, not a single fixture, and Ras'Alghuls just broke history. They actually made them lose in the semifinals, lose the first one. So yeah, I mean, this is happening, and it's happening live. And that's Super Saiyan. Finally, that CC that Ras'Alghuls have been banning since, Super Saiyan finally got to use it. And I like the fact that he finally got to use it. But then that's the Yi Sun Shin being locked away from El Cartels. If Cheezy is not using Yi Sun Shin, take it away. It's just that simple. I like the fact that I'm sticking with that. And Tori says, I am sat. Okay, I don't actually know what sat means. And Aunt Senpai says Ras'Alghuls will cook them. I like that. I like the fact that people are now inclining towards Ras'Alghuls. And I like the fact that the poll is starting to change, because people are now actually voting for Ras'Alghuls. They now have 31% of the people right now in the chat. That's actually interesting. and that's the Leomond ban from El
Valor
Cartel.
and
They don't want
royalty
the
in a
Leomond
dead
again.
body.
That was the winning formula for Ras'Alghuls, and they can't have it here. And Yokai really has to keep it calm, has to make sure that he goes for something, because right now the scores are tied and it's anyone's game for this game 3. And Fasa, is taken down, so there's no gun, there's no Fasa for gun here. In Fasa, you really have to think about something better than the Fasa here. Perhaps a Jusing or a Section. Finally, El Cartels. Damn, all guns, all cards on deck. This is no time to hide a trump card. The finals are at stake. If you make a mistake, the gun switches back to the Loyi, the Yin Yang Gyromancer. Perhaps wanting to go for that one too. But then Voidhaka has the pick left as well. And man, I like the fact that El Cartels are not, El Cartels are not holding anything back. And that's gone with the Angela. Are they trying to play an Angela mid? I think that's what they're trying to play. I think they're playing wow, that's an Angela mid. Okay. Nothing new there. But that's Vector. How's he going to respond to this? How's Yokai going to respond to this as well? The Justin is available. The Zetion is available. You could go for that. Vector with the Akai. Okay. But then I don't think an Akai will work here though, because, control immunity is much. And Yokai going with the Selena, I don't really support that. But
the ashes of the past.
Hey, that's just going to be what he will go for. This is a 1-1 game, guys. And the scores are tied. So it's anyone's game at this point. If El Cartels win this game, they get to win the semi-finals and move on to the finals. And if Ras'Alghuls win the second game, they get to be the first. If Ras'Alghuls win this third game, they get to be the first team to actually beat El Cartels and break their streak in the Seasonal Showdown. So El Cartels, Ras'Alghuls, what do you think, guys? Who's going to take the game 3? Do you think Ras'Alghuls will break their streak? Or do you think El Cartels will prove while they are on top and while they are the IESF representative? All right, onto the charts now. As Voidhaka with the final pick, he has to consider his options here. The Granger is a good pick, but then against a 1-1, you have to really consider that one, man. You don't have enough mobility there. But then settles for the Patriots instead, and that completes the draft, guys. What do you think, man? I'm going to be engaging the chats now. All right, so someone says, I will ban Angela too, because the way I spam my odds. Yeah, I actually read that thing. I actually saw it. The Angela adjustment. I actually saw it, actually. The Angela adjustment was insane. Like, giving out 20 seconds, excuse me, sorry, you can't be here, please. You can't be here. Please, leave the chat. Giving out 20-second adjustment is actually something that was, not a very fun, it was not exactly a very fun thing for your opponent. Really, it's not a fun adjustment for your opponent, because 20 seconds cooldown, that is small compared to what it was before. But then someone says Anabi should have been better. That's Mafia Gaming. I don't know about Anabi. I don't know. I know what you're talking about, right? I know what I mean. But then I think a Mia is a very good counter for 1-1, because you can just use the Hidden Moonlight ult and it will cancel our ult automatically. But you need to think in multi directions. You can't just think, you can't just pick one hero to counter one hero. That's not exactly a great strategy. So Jami Joe Dada says Cartels for the win. Another person says Melissa would have been better. Okay, I don't know, guys. The game 3 has started, and let's see if Ras'Alghuls become the breaker, or if El Cartels will still remain on their seat as the undefeated team in the Seasonal Showdowns. Let's get straight into it. Okay, onto the mid lane, and that's a Minsita. Is that a Minsita mid? No, that's a Minsita robe. I fear because El Cartels tend to do this kind of things, and that's the attack there. Okay, Mark of the King onto them, but that's 4 stacks, 5 stacks with the stun coming in, gone. Now half HP. Has to be careful with his mobility and his movement there on the mid lane. That's the thing about the Angela, pretty vulnerable in the early game, and that's Ragnar. Ras'Alghuls and the Abyssal Trap onto the purple buff, and that's more where that came from. Surge of Life onto them. But then Conquest has to pull back now. Ras'Alghuls getting a bit confident here, trying to dictate the pace of the game. But Cartels, they just have to make sure that they don't get beaten in the early games, because these early games, yes, they don't really have the lineup for the early games. But And Reborn is still on that Phobios. I like the fact that he's still confident there. The little has been taken by Vector. And perhaps the gold lane might be the one to face the gank first. And that's Voidhaka moving down onto the bottom lane. And okay, Vector trying to take out the pop here. Almost on level 4. Doesn't have the immortality yet. So he needs to be careful with his engages. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Conquest engages that Mark of the King. 5 mark there, stun in. And that's Conquest with the title strike defensively to escape. Okay, that was actually a very, very varied one to get away from Yokai's Garrot. And Yokai going up top now. It's a 4-on-1 gank. And Super Saiyan has to be careful. Might get put back by the hook of the Minster. And I'm pretty sure that, Ras'Alghuls actually picked that Minster because of Conquest Lancelot, Cheezy's Lancelot. But then let's see how they utilize it, because like utility is actually everything when it comes to these kind of situations. And they've started out the turtle here, and that's Vector here with the X-Borg. The turtle is almost down. The turtle has been taken down, and that's the pullback. And Cheezy gets away with puncture. Title strike as well, defensively from Conquest. And that's El Cartel. Cheezy gets caught in it. And Reborn finishes the job. Cheezy is first blood. As Ras'Alghuls, they're going for more, and he will call the soldiers, the call of the king. But he will not be able to find anyone there. Meanwhile, Conquest flickers out, and that's a dangerous one. Spacean will get away though with the boy and bounce. That's an engagement. Another flicker from Rain, and that is 3 flickers used by El Cartels. You can tell that the early game is not in their favor as they are playing it defensively right now. As Ragnar tries against to invade, and Ras'Alghuls just gently applying the pressure and making sure that that pressure stays there to make sure they control the game. I like that actually. But then Ras'Alghuls, they will go in, and okay, that's Garrot from Yokai. Nothing more than to clear the lanes here. Ragnar might finding one here. Maybe might be looking for a kill, but that's the Mark of the King, and the Abyssal Trap will miss. Slam brings him into the turret there, and that's the flicker from Ragnar. A dangerous position. Title strike defensively, but the hook does not connect onto anyone. Venice Rage either, but really, it's really not really something serious here. That's okay. Abyssal Trap connects onto one, and that's the pullback there. Conquest is down. The title strike does not take anyone with him, and really, meanwhile, Voidhaka up top. The Heartguard comes in as well. Crossbow bang, but no, the Heartguard is there, and that's him getting low. The turret dive might not favor, but they will pull back from that. Cheezy, there with the puncture there, but there's Tundros to get away from the call of the king, and now Voidhaka, now on Rena, has to make sure that he gets into safety. He's half HP now, so he doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks. Meanwhile, Voidhaka here now switches back to Bennett, and half HP on St. Nicholas. Those who are spawned to, that's where both teams needs to be in. And Conquest, they will almost out of the turtle. Ras'Alghuls have properly zoned out El Cartels. It's ironic, but then that's Garrot there, Tundros from Cheezy, and that's Spring bringing back their Conquest with the Slammy Slam, but in the midst of it all, Cheezy will fall to Reborn, and that's where that came from. Rain is forced, the gun is forced to get away, flickers away from Blast Facility there. We will lose the Firaga armor. Now Reborn with the penal pursuit onto Super Saiyan. But that is Ras'Alghuls prioritizing the objective over kills, as they should. They've taken the early game, and they are starting to take the mid game. Wow, Ras'Alghuls in a sudden turn of events, they're really dominating, but that's the turtle being taken by Yokai. And you have to ask yourself the question, what is going on with El Cartels? Are these the teams that dominated their teams, their opponents? But then we won't be speaking so soon. Meanwhile, Voidhaka on the gold lane there. That's Ragnar. The hook does not connect. Tactical repositioning to get away. Ragnar. Conquest is waiting for the right moment here. That's Ragnar there. Boosting in with the Slammy Slam. Penetrate for Ragnar. With the reaction time. Flickers out and gets away from danger. Now with the Renner. Reborn takes out the tier 1 on the X-Plane. Meanwhile, up top, there's an engagement there. Spacean with the boy and bounce to get away. And Conquest. Okay, that's the thing about the Abyssal Trap. Now 2 stacks, but the hook will miss from Ragnar. The man has left tank room, and now he's on fighter room, and perhaps that's working out for the man. And Reborn up top, the man has to go down now onto the mid lane. He has to wait. He has to wait for this at this point, and they have to be patient because they can't afford to make any unnecessary mistakes. Ras'Alghuls are controlling the game, and if they can keep up the momentum, then perhaps there's a chance they can break the record There's a chance they can make history tonight. But that's Conquest diving in there. Slam breaking him out, but that is him trying to get away there. Call of the King, but that is restricting the mobility. Espacian will take him down with the yo-yo blitz. Cheezy with Asgard support, and Voidhaka falls on the gold lane as Vector takes him down. Wow, that was a 1-for-1 trade. Meanwhile, on mid lane, Cheezy, freedom now to puncture Anton Rose. Now that the Mint Hitter is gone, and that's puncture from Cheezy. Phantom Execution will miss though. That's Garrot outplay from Yokai. And the Abyssal Trap will connect Tidal Strike from Conquest defensively to support his jungler onto the purple buff. And up top, you can see that they're trying to wave clear the Lord. The turtle has spawned, and Yokai being the one to go for that turtle there. And Yokai just waiting it out at this point. And Super Saiyan as well. Okay, Abyssal Trap still missing. Garrot onto the minion waves. And they will start out the turtle there. Cheezy trying to come in. Phantom Execution already used. Doesn't connect onto anyone. With your blitz connecting there. And that's the retribution. Cheezy onto Yokai. Finds still from King. A bit too late. Super Saiyan there. The defender pursues last insanity, but does not get anyone defensively. But Super Saiyan falls to the bone. And Cheezy, the hard guard, playing defensively. Wow. Even with the hard guard, Cheezy is still playing defensively. That is to tell you that it's getting really pressured there. But meanwhile, up top, there's an engagement there. Gone. Still on the hard guard here. Has to come down now. That's the puncture there. Back and forth. But gets pulled back there. Thorn Rose for the outplay. And Cheezy, the Minster might counter him. But there is something that his skill will speak for in situations like that. Meanwhile, up top, you can see Reborn going there. And on the mid lane, okay, Conquest there, pulls him back, but then Tidal Strike defensively doesn't find anyone there, and that's the Garros trying to find a kill there, but no, Yokai will not find anyone, and the hard guard has been baited out onto Voidhaka, and both teams, they're dragging it out. They're trying to, Cartel is trying to control, but Ras'Alghuls are pretty much having the lead when it comes to that. And meanwhile, okay, Cheezy trying to get away from Phantom Execution, and that's the last insanity. Might find one, yes he does. Super Saiyan goes down to the last insanity. That gives them a chance to push the lanes. Meanwhile, down bottom on the gold lane, but that takes out the tier 1, takes advantage of the chaos up top. And meanwhile, on the mid lane, we're gone. They're trying to take out the tier 1 here. The Abyssal Trap will miss. Ras'Alghuls. They started taking turret. And then some. Meanwhile, down bottom there, they're trying to make sure that their own turret doesn't get taken down while they are taking out turrets. And also Cartels as well. Wave clear is very important in this situation. It's really important. If you're not careful, if you're too focused on kills, then you might be lacking. But that's Yokai. Now, checking the bushes here. That's what it should do. You should be conscious, but that's 5 seconds. Cartel might have the positioning advantage, or Ras'Alghuls might. And up top, Conquest might be looking for an engagement here, but that's the Lord has spawned. And Ragnar might want to start up this Lord here. And that's Tsunami Slam, brings him back. And Phantom Execution there, Bennett's Rage will weaken him there, but that's Reborn back and ready for this moment. And that's the, oh my goodness, Ragnar takes the kill. And down bottom there, the Waves are starting to push in. And that might signal the chance for them to start the Lord while they buy them time. That's the yo-yo blitz. Saiyan has to get into safety now. The hard guard has been used on Cheezy. And Cartels, what is going on? It seems like the nation is starting to crumble. Ras'Alghuls might just be the one. And that's the Lord being taken down. Reborn. Now Reborn in the X lane. The man is no longer being bullied. The man is actually styling right now on the 4th after 301 KTA. And the man is actually doing so well. Meanwhile, up top, Cheezy trying to take out this tier 1 on the X lane. Cartels have now resorted to pushing because, well, that's what you can do. And the siege will come up from that lane. Cheezy just took down the tier 1 off. And Minster here might find one. Ragnar might find a hook in. Ragnar, but he will dodge it. And the reaction from Cheezy with the Thundros for the outplay, he knew that would have been problematic if that had connected. So he had to use the Thundros in that situation there. And yeah, Cheezy just waiting out. The Lord is approaching there. Ras'Alghuls and Nicholas might be one. But that's Cheezy with the Thundros. The Cartels are now on defensive here. They have to defend against this Lord. And that's Reborn with that Lord there. Trying to take out the tier 2. But I don't think this Lord might go far. This might be melted really quickly by Cartels. It's still an early game Lord, but they might be able to salvage the tier 2 there. That's Reborn engaging there. Tsunami Slam to bring it back. And the Bennett's Rage as well. Reborn might fall. Yes, he does. Super Saiyan finds the kill there. Meanwhile, buying time for his teammates to push the turrets, and that's Ras'Alghuls. El Cartels are now going in there, assisting defensively to get away. Ragnar trying to force a retreat, and that's Garrot's defensively. Rokai, Ras'Alghuls, they know how to get away when they need to not sustain. Because one thing about games like this is that when your opponent is able to actually like wipe out your team, they're just gonna go for one relentless push into the mid lane, and that is gonna be it, guys. Really. But then, yeah, they will start. They will start it out, and the wave clear is still what both teams are prioritizing, as it should be, if you think about it. And yeah, Conquest, just making sure that he gives gets stunned. Wow, wanted to use the title strike, but gets stunned. That was actually a very nice reaction time from Yokai, and that's more where that came from. They're trying to poke them out, but I don't know the positioning here on Cheezy, but they're not willing to engage him. Wow, I mean, to be fair, Cheezy stun throw is actually a perfect counter for the the crossbow of Tang, because on targetability and stuff. But then, yeah, that will mark one, and Cheezy, that will not be a good target for him if St. Nicholas had gone for him. But Conquest might just be trying to engage. That Slam brings him back, but there's nobody to follow up on Ragnar. Retribution from Cheezy there, gets stunned there. And that's Super Saiyan, Call of the King, pulls one in, and that goes down. Voidhaka is the victim, and that will not be more. El Cartels are now losing members there. Sandros comes in, Ragnar goes down to Cheezy, and right now the numbers are not in their favor. One down, 1-for-1 trade. Both teams trying to disengage, but can't they? Super Saiyan going back to the base, they lose Yokai, and Ras'Alghuls need to count their losses. Cheezy in the midst of it all gets away with Conquer, and the Asgard is not even upon him. What is this man? What is Cheezy on tonight? And my goodness, you have to ask yourself, that was a close one, and really it was. But then Cheezy found a way out of that. And that's puncture. You thought El Cartel would lose, but then Tidal Strike is not connected. Namistan brings Reborn back. But then, because of life, El Cartel's trying to take out his sword. If they want to have a chance to win this game and preserve their record, they have to take out his sword. The blood is almost down. Cheezy will get it in. And that's more Reborn falling down. And Conquest of the King comes in to restrict mobility there. And Cheezy's avoiding it, but Conquest will pay the price. And that's Ras'Alghuls. They've gotten one death, and they need to go out there. Fast of execution. Cheezy dies still as St. Nicholas pays the price with the Dawn Throws. That's where that came from. Vector falling, 3 are down. Ras'Alghuls are losing members, and the minion waves are pushing in. This might be the clear. This might be it. The Data 1 is down on the mid lane. They're going for the Tattoo here. Voidhaka is frontlining it, and they're pushing the base. The load is coming from the bottom lane. They're willing to go for more. The numbers are not returning anytime soon. Reborn is back. But no, Ragnar, in the midst of it all, they're taking it down. They're pushing it to the fridge. The siege has not even started, and they've melted down the turrets that are available. And El Cartels are showing why they're still on top. They're showing why you shouldn't get your hopes up. But really, they might just melt down this Lord. But Voidhaka on dependence right now. You need to be careful though. There's a borderline between trying to push and trying to end, and also trying to keep yourself alive. But that's Cheezy there. Takes out the Tier 1 there on the inhibitor, and all inhibitors are down. So it's on the defense here. We're not able to take down the Faraga armor though. The Lord is in, but El Cartels, they know that next Lord is going to be it. They've melted down all the turrets in that Lord. El Ras'Alghuls can't afford to be complacent in this game. They can't afford to underestimate El Cartels. And yeah, the game is paused, so we're gonna have to wait for that one out. Excuse me, let me just take water real quick. All right, guys, that's the unpause there, and we're getting straight into it. So that was a very brilliant engagement there by El Cartels. They've taken out all the turrets right now. The only thing standing is Ras'Alghuls bait. Wow. Yes, for the turn of event, that's a 3-second stun from the Abyss Trap, and Conquest just getting caught by it, and Super Saiyan now. I think it's a turn by turn thing here. But then down bottom, Yokai might just want Garrots onto the minion waves, and they're just doing the wave clear. Yeah, so by the way, guys, what do you think so far about the game? Because honestly, Ras'Alghuls really showed dominance in the early and the mid. I've got to give that to them, right? But then at some point, El Cartels tried to, you know how Nigerians are now. We don't, we don't agree. But then, okay, starting out here, Nibiru's passion onto the purple buff here. Okay, Conquest coming in, so I'm starting pretty back. That's not enough to take out anyone, and no battle spell will be expended for that engagement. And Conquest now on the red, now they get stunned, trying to figure out Yokai. Not able to find any kill there. Wow, that was that. I think both teams right now are trying to weigh options real quick, because they know that this is a high stakes battle. You can't afford to lose anyone right now. That's 15 seconds to that Lord. So, you know, you can't afford to make any mistakes. Cheezy going in with a puncture and just engage here. But no, he does not. Back there, back up top. That's Conquest diving in there at first. Money cost. Slam brings it back there. But then he brings passion off the back line there. That's Pope just doing his thing. Reborn. We're trying to restrict mobility there with cutting calls. Spacia will fall to Yokai. Meanwhile, the first defend. Reborn is still not dead. He takes out Conquest. The man is silent and Voidhaka force. El Cartel, they're crumbling in this team fight. As the Cheezy is the only one left, and he has to escape. Will Cheezy go for a steal, or will Cheezy escape? That is something you have to ask yourself, and the Lord is now open for the taking. But no, they're not starting it out. I mean, Ras'Alghuls, yeah, they will start it out though. Cheezy might just be coming in here. The man just might be looking for one, but that's Thundros to get away. Cheezy might be looking for a steal there. That's the puncture there. That's Thundros again. And okay, yeah, your skills are on that cooldown. Cheezy, you need to be very careful there. Puncture Thundros to get away. This team might find one. Yes, it does find one. Also, this takes the Lord. What is this? What is this game? And the heart that comes upon him. He might be finding another Cheezy. The one-man army for El Cartels. He will get it in and invade the jungle. Look at the Rambo Stiota. This is the good show, man. That guy is styling him, and El Cartels have found their crown once more. Reborn is trying to defend, but no, the man will fall to Voidhaka as a revenge for that. And Super Saiyan St. Nicholas trying here, but no, Conquest falls, and they will revenge. Ras'Alghuls, they don't want to go down without a fight. The Abyssal Trap slow the Lord down, but will it slow down the Lord? That's what you should ask. They will try more. They will try more, but the Lord is almost down. Voidhaka is attacking their base, but no, the Call of the King is there, but the base is taken down, and El Cartels, Thunder, heralds their reign. They will sit on the throne and maintain their position as they take game 3. El Cartels, they stay on top. They show why they're on top, and Cheezy with a 10.4, he will make sure he'd rather be down than still El Cartel's streak be broken. But I mean, I've got to give props to Ras'Alghuls though. They're probably the team that has come closest to pushing El Cartels this far. But yeah, that is gonna be it, guys, for the Seasonal Showdown semi-finals. But moving on to the finals now, we get to see El Cartels versus Oasiss, and it's gonna be big. Carl is gonna be there, so this is gonna be just me, guys. But really, I also want to apologize one last time for my outing earlier. I had a serious important thing to attend to. But yeah, this is a game, guys. What do you think? I'm gonna be engaging just like 2 persons, and then I cut the stream. But actually, looking at the time now, I don't think I have that liberty too. So yeah, with that being said, this is gonna be it, guys. Thanks so much for watching the stream and for supporting. And I remain your humble caster, Black Matter, and also the guy in the back, Stark, doing the stream and handling what you see. And I'll see you guys in the final. Good night.